Um, so these are the HTML things. So I gave you a basic introduction of HTML. Like, I mean, if you want to read about the classical examples and all the things, you can read it. But I'm going to showcase how to use it and what are the elements are, or what are the basics are. You can. So this is a simple HTML document. There is nothing, and it will work. So how are you going to learn HTML? Is by showcasing it how to write HTML, and this is where these are tags will be looking at today. And I'm going to use not going to use an editor to do it. You are supposed to use Visual Studio Code to do it. I'm going to use something called CodePen to showcase it, because it can show the live changes what I'm making. So you can also use CodePen when you are learning it. So this is codepen.io, the website, and in some of the classes after the W3 schools is not so good. There's a lot of things that it doesn't work very well, but CodePen works very well. Even after some of the classes, I will try to provide whatever I done in the class so that you can play around with it and all the things. Okay, so now you create a new pen. So this is where you write your HTML code, CSS, JavaScript, and this is how it shows how it looks. Okay, so it is for showing the HTML code how it looks in a browser. So otherwise, if you were writing in Visual Studio Code, you can also write in Visual Studio Code and save it as .html file and open it in the browser. But that's a bit more lengthy, and each time you make small changes, you have to open it, refresh it again. So here, what are the things you are doing? You have to do it. Okay. So how does a browser understand it is a HTML file? Okay, I'm just saying the file name. So you start with a tag. Remember the starting tag and end tag. So for you to understand, or for the browser to understand it's a HTML document, you have to specify the first tag called HTML. It means it's HTML. This is the syntax in which you write the HTML. The tags have a special syntax. It starts with left arrow, it ends with right arrow. This is the starting of the tag, and when are you closing it? If you have to close it, you have to write the same tag with a slash. So this is the syntax. So let me zoom it for you. Okay, so this is the starting, this is the ending, the closing, opening and closing. Like I said, opening, closing. So this is the opening syntax. Any tag that has a left arrow and all the things. Okay, close chat. Okay, anything that has a left arrow, right arrow, and it has any of these special characters or special elements which HTML understands. So these are the HTML elements. So these are all the possible elements which the browser understands. Okay, so these are all elements that the browser understands. You need not to remember all things. You can again say you can refer that, but the main element is the HTML. So this is the main element, so that you have to put any HTML code inside that for the browser to understand its HTML thing. And again, after that, there are certain things which you don't want to show to the users, but let's say you are loading something, we'll get back to that when we learn other things. So there's a thing called head tag. So I'm closing the head tag because we are not going to use it for today. Okay, so we'll see in the next class. So whatever you want to show it in the page, you have to put it in a tag called body. So you see the syntax, I'm writing the tags. I'm closing and starting. So it's a very good habit to close the tag as soon as you open it, because you might forget it, and then if you don't forget it, it will going to create an error. So starting with that, we are going to see how to write what are heading elements. So whenever you want to write very big text or very big headings, there are these tags called heading elements, or element is something which is a block of thing. The whole thing is called an element. Whatever you create with a tag, the whole block is called an element. Okay, so this is a body element. So you can see, you can close it to what fold is called folding, code folding. Now, if you want to put big headings, so it starts from H1 to H6. So H1 is the biggest one, H6 is the smallest one. If you want to write any heading, so all you have to do is, again, see the way which I'm coding. I start the CAG, end the CAG, and whatever the thing you put in between. So starting and ending, it will be showcased. So heading 1. So this is why I'm using CodePen. It shows the live code or what are the things that is happening. So you can also, like in this way, you can create as many things. So you can see I'm putting everything in a body, all the things. So if you want to make it a H2, I mean, the CodePen will automatically correct it, the ending tag. So, but if you are using a text editor, you might have to correct it. So you can see the size decreasing with each. You can put any text here. There is no restriction on it. I can say you can see it. You can put any text inside it that will be displayed in the heading tags. So these are the heading tags, and now comes the paragraph. So paragraph is a block of text which has a little bit of space in between, like you see in your textbooks and all. So again, so this is where you use most of the things when you have put a lot of text. You have to use these things. So for today, you don't have to worry about how they look and all. You just have to, that comes. This is a first data. It's a bad habit. I should close it once I open the tag, but I'm doing it. So again, this is how the paragraph looks. You can create as many paragraphs. Okay, you can see how it's being shown. So that's how. So very simple. If you write it in Visual Studio Code, which save it with .html, like what are the file name .html, and you open it in browser, it will show the same, but it will not show this. It will show this file. Okay. So now comes the div. So div is one of the most important element which people started using in the recent thing. It's a division element. So it's a division element, as in if you want, because you can see here there are so many parts of the page. There's one top part, left side, right side. So people, when pages become very complicated, people started think to organize all these things. So that's when the people started using divs. So I mean, what is a div? If you just create a div, nothing will happen. It has no style and nothing. It will simply put the text. So you can put anything. You can put images inside it. You can put paragraphs. You can put headings inside it. Let me showcase you that. And it will act as if it's a block of code. Okay, so the thing is very small. So it acts as back of code. You can create divs inside divs inside this. Okay, you can create as many divs inside these things. I mean, there's nothing you can see. Okay, so if you put empty thing, you don't see anything. So that's the thing. Again, so we'll start using it in the upcoming classes. So somebody is asking what is the difference between div and span. Okay, I didn't even mention span. How come you asked it? Don't ask anything which we haven't touched. Can we put? We'll get there. Everything will get there. What is div used for? So div is used for like how you organize your. Let's say you have so many papers. How you organize your papers into folders. So let's use thing that there are so many elements, and if you want to organize into a section, so all the things you can start using divs. We'll get back. You just don't have to understand today. You just understand what will div. So again, the next important thing we are going to look at is tables, not tables, unordered list. Let's say you want to make a list of items, and these you can start using. UL is called unordered list. So you start a list. This is a list. Each item in the list is have a different tag called li. Li is for list item. Let's say if you want to make a list of all the names, okay, or you can see it looks, and you can create list inside list also. Like, let me create that for you. So in this, I'm creating one more list. So again, everything should have opening and closing. So I'll paste them here. So this is a list inside list. So each browser displays it in a different fashion. You don't need to worry about it. Or if you remove this li, so it will showcase without the first back. Okay. So you can see that now it says Drupal here. Okay, so this is how you are trying to make your list of items and all. So this is how you do lists, and these are called unordered lists because they don't have any numbers. You can see it is a black tick over here or something over here. Okay. Now this is a list item li, which we looked at. The next one which you are going to look at is called tables. This is the thing which you generally see a lot in web pages, and we are going to see it for the next at least for a couple of days. So somebody is asking what UL indicates. Unordered lists. It's a short notation for unordered list. Okay. Again, I told you keep your notes till the end. And now, how to start a table? Again, the same thing. Every tag will have the same thing. Now, table had two parts to it. Let's say when you're working even in Excel, it has this thing. So table header, that's called a table header. And what are the columns you see, rows and columns, is called table body. You can directly create the body without the header. So, but if you want to create a head, you have to use a separate tag called table head, and it looks in different fashion, but it will not look blue because you have still not applied any styles for it, or you're not writing any CSS for it. Okay, so now with these things, let's create a table. So T head, I'm creating a header. So heading for the table. So it will create the heading, and the heading should have, I mean, TR is for table row. So in table there are rows and columns. So the rows are this side, horizontal side, and columns or vertical side. So for each row you can put as many columns, but it's going to behave differently. But for table header, the columns is indicated by TH only for table header. And there are more use cases, but try to get an understanding of the very basic things. So by without any styles, it will not show borders. So if you want a border, you have to do something called attributes. I'm going to teach you what are attributes and all. So in the meantime, let's try to create a table with more rows. Okay, now all the rows I'm creating are the actual table rows. So everything goes in T body. And again, this is a row. Now the column is defined by TD. So TD will define a column. So remember the column. Refreshing. Remember the column goes inside the row. Okay, let's say Ajay. So you can see the Ajay, and And if you want to put batch 1, so you can see it's being, so I'll create more of this. Okay, you can see it in the form of a table. Okay, so but without any styling, it table looks in this way. You can add as many rows or as many columns as possible. Now the thing you should understand about these tags is it has something called attributes. So what is an attribute and what is the thing? So so attribute is a special word or value or so remember the tags which we talked about. If you want to add certain more properties to it, and if you want to have let's say different values or add extra information for it, so this is where you use the attributes. These are like this has a very specific syntax in which you have to write it. So whenever you use a tag, so attributes, again these attributes are decided by again the people who develop it. So this is how you write an attribute. So after you define the tag, put one space, and there's an attribute called border, and equal to, it's an attribute which we call it key, and it has a value. So it's like roll number 1, like all the things. So each tag will have some certain properties. Let's say you are working on some video tag, or you are working on some image tag. So if for a video you need video like attribute, for an image you need image attribute, or where is the link of that image. So those are the things which you need to know. So that's why these are certain special properties which are only applicable for those tags. Now T or especially not T body, table has an attribute called border. So how to know what are all attributes available for an element? Again, for this you go to documentation. I mean, it's not generally no requirement, but today we can use it. It has an attribute called border. So you have to use the attribute border. Is equal to, let's say I put border is equal to 1. You can see now you got the border. So the language understands that, okay, for table I need to put a border of 1. So that's the thing. So these are the kind of attributes which we'll be looking more in the upcoming classes or upcoming tags. But you need to understand how to write the attributes. You have to put a space after the tag, put the like what is the attribute you want to specify is equal to what is the value you want to specify. Sometimes you will put it in quotes, and also I'm going to showcase you. Generally, you put it in quotes, the values. So this is the key of what is the attribute key, and this is the value. The value generally put it in quotes, and the HTML or the browser understands that, okay, table I need to put a border 1. It's like giving instructions, extra instructions along with the tag to the browser. Okay, so again, so this will change based on the things which you write. So this is what we are trying to learn. Now, again, we'll get back in for the tables, but you need to understand all the things which are looked till now are like for showcasing it to the user. If you want to take something input from the user, like say when you are signing up or when you are doing anything, you want to have drop downs, you want to have calendars, you want to have radio buttons, you have to want, I think everybody knows it. So or a password field, like or some text area, like when you are giving quizzes and all, you can see sometimes text area, bigger ones and all. So these elements all come under inputs. So input is a specific, again, it's a tag. If you write input, so there is a way of ending the tags without writing the, let's say, okay, for now use input. We'll get back in the upcoming class. So you can see it's now a input box is coming. So the input can have multiple attributes. For today, we are looking at only 2. Text, I mean, basically we're looking at only 1. So we'll use type is equal to text. So if you say type is equal to text, it can take the text input. So let's say I can write anything here, any text related thing here. Name is, you can see you can take any text input from using an input tag. So this is the basic thing, but we'll look at more things. So there are so many kinds of inputs again, and each one has so many attributes. Okay, so the basic attributes is type, which we are used it, and that's the thing. That's why you said you should build a habit of reading official documentation. It has all the things which you need to understand. So that's the second kind of things. Like we are going to look at some of the things which you might be generally seeing. Okay, so the next thing, before getting to any complex things, we'll look at simple images. Let's say most of the times you need to put images. The image can be in your computer. The image can be on the server. So if the image is on the server, it has a link. It is an address. Today we'll look at how to put an image using an address. Okay, so let's say I want to put an image. I'll start with an image tag. Image tag is img. I'll end the image tag. Okay, so there's no image now, but if you want to give the link of the image, I'm going to like take the link from the Google's website itself. It doesn't have it, so let me go to Masai School. So if you see any image, most of the times you can right click on the image and says copy image address. So this is how you can use the images on the web, but we'll get back to you and showcase you how to use images on your computer. And before, I mean, you can't put your images on a server because you don't know servers, but we'll get there. So you will understand the image. Somebody is trying to be again very smart. He's saying is image a self-closing tag. I didn't tell you what a self-closing tag is. So like I said, don't try to go ahead. Try to understand with very simple things. And this course is designed for people who has no background. They're starting learning HTML today. So again, image. Now image has an attribute called source, where you give the link or the address for where the image should come from. So the attribute is source equal to, and in the quotations I'm putting. Okay, now you can see the image is here. So you might be wondering why it is coming in single line. You'll try to understand once you get a better understanding of the things. But let's say at any point of time you want to shift it to a new line. So there is a tag called BR. BR is break. So if you put a BR tag, then you'll be able to do, you break this and put it in a new line. So what is a BR tag do? So it breaks and puts in a new line. So BR, BR. So you can see it went to the new line. Again, if you want, I mean, you can use it to create additional spaces also. Some of the times, let's say you want to put it, if you put, so it put so many breaks that it comes down. So each one will put a break and all the things. Okay, so these are some of the things which you need to understand. So again, so these, I mean, again, as I told you, these tags the browser understands and interprets and showcase you the page in a certain fashion. So till now we have worked on the basic HTML things, but now let's look at the same thing with more attributes and playing around with this, especially the table. I want you to understand certain things in the table, and it has certain more attributes, especially the TD. We will have to use a bit more of TD to make it a different kinds of layouts. I'm going to create a new pen for that so that you don't confuse with the basic ones. Okay, so tables are very helpful in creating different kinds of layouts. You can create much more complex layouts than the basic ones. So for that, you need to understand some of the things. Again, I keep on telling people when you're doing the class, try to do it like they're using Visual Studio Code. I can't help it if you're doing something that has not been taught. Okay, so for today, just try to assume like you are starting from HTML from scratch and you know how to write HTML and do all the things. Okay, so now comes the tables. Again, I'm going to start with HTML because I'm going to write an HTML document. Like I told you, I will end it. Now I will get back to what a head is. Now, like I told, every code will goes in body. Okay, now let's look at some of the properties of the tables and which you will be. So there are TRs, so it has many attributes which you might not be requiring, but we'll look at some of the attributes of the TD, which is very important to create different kinds of tables. So again, what are the two attributes I'm looking here for today? Col span and row span. So these are two attributes which will define the way in which the column looks. So this attribute contains a non-negative value. So you can see how good the documentation is. It says it contains a non-negative integer value that indicates how many columns the cell extends. Its default value is 1. Values higher than 1000 will be considered as incorrect and will be set to default value 1. So you try to understand how, because these are people who wrote the specifications and how the things, they have very specific things of how the col span works and how even the row span. The row span attribute contains a non-negative value that indicates how many rows the cell extends. The default value is 1. If its value is set to 0, it extends until the end of the table that the cell belongs to, and values higher than 65534 are clipped down to 65534. So these are the exact things which the browsers understand. Now let's try to look at all the things of what row span and col span does. I'm going to create a table for that. Now let me create a 5x5 table. So I will start with T body. I don't want any head. I'll just create a simple table with. So I need 5 rows and 5 columns. I'm going to name it in a certain fashion. So I call this 1.1 so that you can have a sense of, let me put a border also. So again, I'm creating this. So I created 5 columns. Now you can see that it created a 5x5 table. Again, so for you to understand, I'm giving the numbers. Okay, this is okay. Created 6 rows. I'll remove the first one. Okay, so this is a 5x5 table. First row, first column, first row, second column, first row, third column. This is a third row, first row. So now try to understand what col span does. this attribute contains a non-negative value, indicates how many columns the cell extends. So by default, each cell is of one block. If you want to extend it to two, like remember in Excel, how you merge cells, it's kind of that thing. So let me showcase it in Excel for you. So let's say this is a row and this is a cell, and let's say you want to merge these two cells. So we use this option. So now you can see this cell is of two columns, and this is in the same way you can do these kind of things also. You can merge this. So you can see, so these are the kinds of things if you want to do, you can do that in tables also. So row span and col span is the one. So if it's a col span, it will span that column. That means it extend the column. That's by default it is 1. So that's taking only one value. If I do col span is equal to 2, okay, spelling mistake. Okay. So now you can see it got extended to two things, and because now it has 6, 1 plus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the whole table got extended. But if you are trying to extend it, I mean, you can do it. But if you want this kind of layout, that means in those cases you will have only one like this. Now try to do it in the second fashion. I'll put the col span is equal to 3. I can see it gets extended to 3, and I will remove it. So you can see it got extended to three columns. Now comes the row span. So row span will say how many rows it will expand. So now if I say row span is equal to 2, this will extend to 2 rows. Again, because it got extended to 2 rows, it got shifted. Now let me delete this one. Okay. So in the same way, if you put row span is equal to 0, it will get extended till the end of the table. Let's try to put row span 0 for this 2.3. So you can see that's where I'm looking from documentation. So if your value is set to 0, it will extend until the end of the table. So again, I'm removing the extra ones, 3.5, 4.5. So if it has extra columns, they will get. So you can see you created a different kind of table with like merging all the things, and also this is the use of row span and col span. So use attribute col span, it will extend it by those number of columns. If you use row span, it will use those number of rows. It will expand by, it's like the simple merging if you know Excel. So that's the kind of things that it is trying to do, and that's when your table starts to look different. So I deleted some of the things because when you want to create a table, you need exact number of columns. Okay. Again, let me create one more table here by changing. I'll copy one more thing. Let me put some BR. So it's the thing. I copied it. Now if I make it col span as by default it is 1. If I make it as col span 3, now it has 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1. So 4 plus 2, 6. It has total 6. Now I make this col span as 4. So I'm making a 6 cross 5 table. So you can see it got extended and all the things. So you can see how I'm changing the values will affecting the layout. I'm just let's say I want to add one more thing here. So because it has 6, now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So again, 4.4, let's make it call span or so if you're putting call span, that means you are moving to the right and merging those many things. If I'm putting call span as 2, this is a 1, 2, you take one more column and merge both of them, how you did in Excel. If you're doing row span, you take the below row and merging it if you put row span at 2. Now let's put for 5.3 call span 2. Now you are extending that by 3. So you can see you created a different kind of layout. Again, if you want row spans, this is the row spans I used, this is the row spans I used, and all the things that I have done.